There was another time too. I was getting a little older. I think I was 15 now, maybe 16. And there was a guy in Oakland Chinatown who was supposedly a member of a different tong. And he was a big shot. He was probably 21 years old, and he drove a car. And so one day he confronted me and said, "Leonard, are you the one who told the fire marshal where I hid my firecrackers?" And I said, "No. Why do you say that?" He said, "Well, they found my cash and they took me and arrested me." I said, "Listen, I have nothing to do with that." The guy jumped out of his car and he opened the car and he pulled out his .22. And as soon as I saw that .22, I took his door and I slammed it back to him again. And he dropped the pistol. And my brother picked it up and gave it back to him. And then, well, anyway, that occurrence really embarrassed this friend. Oh, I wouldn't say he was a friend, but he was a big shot. And so anyway, when I finally went back home in the evening, I related the situation about this Mr. Ong would pull a gun on me, and my brother picked the gun up and gave it back to him. And I said to my mother, "Where is my father's .38? I'm looking for it." And my mother really panicked. And so she said, "No, you will not get involved with that. I will send an emissary with a red envelope and apologize for my behavior." And you know, back in those days, they put money in a red envelope and say, "This is our goodwill gesture." Well, that sucker would not accept my mother's apology. So my mother she really got scared. So she went to my father's tong. Of course, my father had already passed away. And she related the story that my son was involved with this guy who was a member of another tong. So some member of the tong took my mother's red envelope and approached this other tong with a meeting saying that Mrs. Tom wants to apologize for his behavior. And would you believe the apology was refused again? And so now my mother really had no other choice. She didn't know what to do, so she started conferring with my other relatives. And so finally, one of the relatives says, "All right, we're sending you over to San Francisco to the Tom Family Association, and that they will have to force them to accept the apology." And when they were confronted, they finally relented and took the apology, and that quelled the anxiety of my mother. And of course, she told me that I will have nothing to do with my father's .38.